Hello and welcome back from spring break. We are embarking on our study of Congress and political parties. It doesn't look like a ton, but there's a WebQuest, and the Washington's farewell is a bit of thought if you do it correctly. So let's dig in. Over the next 2 weeks, you're responsible for 5 assignments. The Congressional WebQuest. This isn't as long as the Supreme Court one, but again, I would not advise putting it off till the last moment. It's a bit of work. All right. Then there's the Congress, Presidency, and Supreme Court check-in. It's called a check-in because I don't want to panic you by calling it a quiz, and it's going in your classwork grade anyway. These questions are all going to appear on your test. For example, very basic ones. A United States representative is elected for a term of, according to the Constitution, the Chief Justice of the United States must be. Very basic questions that just ensure that you've had some brain cells firing together the last little bit in this class. All right, the WebQuest. Now, I get questions about this and the Supreme Court one every time I introduce it. A WebQuest is an assignment in which you search the internet for the answers. Well, you might be able to find some of them in the PowerPoints and the readings that I assign. You are going to, and you should anticipate looking up a majority of these answers on the internet. That's just the nature of a WebQuest assignment. All right. And just to forestall, a question about, question number 4. There are 3 or 4 answers I'm prepared to accept about who the first Senate Majority Leader is. Students have given me a few names over the years. I've researched them, and they're legitimate rationales for 3 or 4 different names. So that is the Congressional WebQuest, and that is also your check-in on the 3 branches of government. We go to political parties, read the book, look at the lecture slides. Again, these are up just for you guys. I'm not really a fan of these, but you are finding them useful. The book quiz on political parties, I had my observation recently, and my observation went very well, but I was told that I need to have you guys do a little bit more discussion. So we're throwing in a discussion. You're just going to watch here. What's next for political parties? Should come up very easily for you. You're going to answer this. Now, I'll make my regular plea here to follow the directions. The video, your response to that is 10 points, 5 points per post, 2 points minimum. So 10 points for the initial post, 5 points per response, 20 points total. And then Washington's farewell. Now, this video was recorded many years ago. Once upon a time, in another life, I do not affiliate with a political party anymore, but once upon a time, I was the vice chairman of the Libertarian Party of Illinois. I served in that role for 4 years, and I served as secretary for the state party for an additional year until I had to have another brain surgery. This guy, his name's Lex Green. He lives in Texas now. was both my boss, my mentor, and my friend, as he was the chairman of the state party for the 4 years that I was the vice chairman. He taught me, well, it's evolved so much since then, but he taught me at the time everything I knew about politics, and his knowledge was just expansive, and still is, I'm sure, about everything under the sun that has to do with the founding fathers and the early history of our republic. So I thought back then that it would be fun to have him on to kind of walk through Washington's farewell, since that's something he was passionate about. So we had a good half-hour discussion where we're kind of reliving old times in part, but the assignment here about the speech and the questions, if you watch the video, we answer all 5 of these questions in our talk about the video, in our talk and the video. So it's worth a watch. He's a fount of knowledge, and I'm going to be grateful to him forever for everything that he taught me. And I always put the PDF in just in case you have some trouble accessing the assignment. So if you haven't had any trouble accessing the assignment, just ignore this, because it's just what you're supposed to read in the last screen right here. So that is it for March 16th to March 29th. Welcome back, and let's finish the semester strong. Get in touch if you have any questions.